Welcome, my beautiful souls. If you've been seeing repeating signs, feeling emotions without knowing why, or you're sensing that something is shifting beneath the surface, well, this message is for you. And this message didn't find you by accident, and you will feel this in your heart. We are connecting to above here. Messages from our loved ones who have crossed before us, giving us messages of, I already feel it, of love, courage, um, comfort. And I feel like there's many different signs that want to come through today. And I am just the messenger. I am the messenger for your loved ones to come through, hopefully to comfort your heart. So, again, I am the rambling psychic, and let's begin. So, what I did today is I really pulled out quite a few decks because I want to give your loved ones like different decks to choose from. This is really why I did it. I felt like they wanted, you know, several decks. So we are going to use the Crystal Vision. We're going to use the Light Seers, the Universal Tarot. I am going to open up the reading with Mother Mary for the collective. This really is a collective reading, but I already know it's going to cover your love life, um, some of you, your career. I feel like what I'm picking up are signs. Well, I feel like there's going to be all kinds of signs, but um, signs to help your growth. And I wouldn't be surprised if some are coming through. What's interesting is I had a plan to do a completely different reading today. When I woke up this morning, it was just on my mind. This is a reading I have to do, so I'm going to do it. Um, so, anyways, what I'm going to ask you to do is just calm your mind, open your intuition, feel comfortable asking your guides to let you know if a message or messages are for you. Um, you know, if you found yourself here, then I know there's messages for you. But you can certainly ask your guides to help you with confirmation. And that can be anything between you and your guides. So let's go ahead and not talk a lot so we can open up this reading. I feel like Spirit wants to speak, and that is what we're going to do. All right. Um, I burn out the romance angels also because I already know there's going to be some love messages. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide all these decks over because we're going to use a deck, different decks for different messages, whatever deck feels called to. And we'll clarify if needed. All right, but we're going to open this up with Mother Mary. And again, you should feel this in your heart. You should feel it in your soul because your loved ones are speaking to your soul. All right, Mother Mary, for the collective, especially those who need some comfort. All right, enthusiasm. Whatever I am most passionate about is the direction I flow. So wherever your passion lies, that's your direction. It's reminding me of like the Ace of Wands, where passion is ignited, and sometimes before the sign, the project, whatever is about to shows, and it's just getting you ready. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you, like, heart chakras are being activated, third eye chakras. And I feel it's important. I do feel it's important. And this kind of matches December's energy, which is a 3-month. So we're going to put Mother Mary over here, but let's give Mother Mary a special crystal. Okay, well, okay. I am going to start with the light seers. And this is going to be our first message, and I am going to give them a cut. And I am going to shuffle for the messages. That's what I was going to pull off the top of the deck, but I heard no shuffle. All right. So again, calm your mind. I will have these time stamped. Though, in a way, more than one message is probably going to apply to you. All right. Let's begin. Loved ones, I am ready. I am ready. Okay. Well, we're not going to take all that, but we are going to take what's face up. All right. Wow. Interesting. So we have the Four of Wands. This is the marriage card. This is a commitment card. With the Four of Wands, interesting, we have the Four of Cups. And then with the Four of Cups, we have the Six of Cups. Okay, so right off the bat, I know what this is talking about. I feel like someone was in a marriage, or let's say a committed relationship, and I feel like something happened that did break the two of you up. But would you believe me if I tell you that chances are that was meant to happen? And why would that be? Because I feel like there's someone else. And let me just say, I feel like I definitely feel that who I'm speaking to right now in this relationship that you had, because I do feel like it's over. Even though I feel like there was love, I don't feel like there was much more. I don't feel like, and when I say there was love, but the type of love, well, coming from one of your loved ones, it doesn't feel legitimate. It doesn't feel right. And this is not about judgment. This is about understanding that for some of you, you're in this state right now where you may feel a little lonely. And you may start thinking back. And even if we have the Six of Cups, which can represent someone from the past, I feel like, it's interesting. I feel like I may have caught someone at just the right moment, because I feel like you broke up with someone. I do feel like right now you're feeling lonely. It could be the holidays. But I feel like what your guides are saying is please reconsider reaching back out to someone where in your soul that there's really nothing left. I don't feel like you had emotional fulfillment. Again, I'm sure you were in love, but this doesn't feel like a high vibrational love. And I feel like the Six of Cups, well, it kind of feels like a gift. I do feel like it's a person. I mean, how interesting, right away we go to love. But This is what's on a lot of people's minds, evidently. So, again, the Six of Cups to me, it feels very gentle. And this may be a sign, like this may be something where you know the difference because this feels, it's like a gentle soulmate versus what might have been like a karmic soulmate. And I feel like at this moment, you were thinking about reaching out to the one that feels more karmic. And I feel like the reason is because how you're feeling lonely. And I don't feel like you feel lonely every day. At this moment, I feel like you do. All right, I want to see if anything else wants to come out with that. So I feel like this is definitely talking about a love partner. I just feel so gentle. Like they have a gentle touch, they have a gentle voice, and a gentle love. But it's love. It's like a spiritual setup. We have the Three of Pentacles. And what do I mean by that? I feel like your spiritual teams, theirs and yours, who knows? This may be predestined, and this may be the time. It's interesting the Three of Pentacles just came out because that's kind of what I was feeling. Like I was in a, and when I say I am just you right now. But I was in a relationship and I knew it was over. I knew it was over. And I also feel like I couldn't be my true self within that relationship anyway. Or that may be something to ask yourself, like, could you be who you truly are? Or did you have to, like, pretend to be someone else? Or did you have to lower your vibration to meet their vibration? This is a reminder that you were made exactly as you were meant to be made. And anyone who has doubt in that or questions you it's interesting because, like, how are they questioning you? Well, okay, so not questioning, judging you. That's the word. So I feel like whoever was in this connection here, I do feel like they judged you or you felt judged. And your loved ones are saying there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. Be who you are. Be your authentic self. It's important. It's important. And in the Three of Pentacles, I often feel like there is someone admiring you, but maybe from afar. And I'm telling you, I feel like I am reaching someone at just the right moment. Interesting, another 33. We've been getting 33 a lot, and 33 is a master number. And that may mean that you're here to master something. Here, I have a feeling it's love. You may have a personal year 6 or a life path 6. You don't have to. You could also have a life path 33 or be in a personal year 33. But what a difference. It's like energy changes. I feel like what your loved ones are saying is your love life is not over. And your love life does not belong to them. You don't belong to them. I feel like you're a free spirit who got shut down. Like a free spirit where you were not able to be your true self. These are the clues. And I feel like the message here is you will love again. Please don't look back. And I mean at the last, what I feel is the last relationship. Because again, there seems to be judgment. There seems to be energy of like needing to wear a mask. Yet I feel like what your spirit guides are saying, the love that will find you. And I'm meant to say that, the love that will find you, and you will find it, them, again, so much more gentle. I can tell that they will bring, like, I feel like the minute you connect with this person, this is your future love. I feel like the minute you connect with this person, it's joy. It's like an electrical shock through the body. And it's interesting how we have these 2 3s equal 6. Well, and then we get the 6 of Cups. And I'm going to take one more right down the middle, the Queen of Pentacles. My psychic detective. My psychic detective. And I feel like, and I get this all the time from our guides. And this is not from me, this is from our guides, which now is my belief. That when we're in these states of like loneliness or, the type of states that there's nothing really that we can do much about it. Yes, there is. We can refocus our mind. Because I feel like there's a lot of creativity here. There's a lot of creativity. Someone has a lot of creativity within themselves. And if you don't know that and you feel like this message is for you, well, I would put pen to paper and you may write a book. I would think about some of your creative gifts and maybe start moving into them. And the only reason I feel like your guides are saying that is because it can help ease some of the emotions that you're feeling. This feels like a promise of what eventually will be a new life with a new person that is so much more gentle. They may even own a dog. And I'm just going to take one more over that 7 of Cups. Well, that's good because what that means is it puts the ball in your court. That means someone will be reaching out. Someone will be offering their cup. And I guess if I'm hyper focused on this relationship of the past, the recent past, could that block the potential of this? Yes and no. Yes, because if that's the only place my focus is on, like that's the only thing I will accept, then of course it's going to affect it. You'll say no. And I feel like that's what your spiritual team wants you to ask yourself. Why are you focusing there? Are you being honest with yourself? Are you able to be your true, authentic self with someone? And if not, how great would it feel to have someone to love you for exactly who you are? I feel like we have it's like a spiritual blind date. But I have a feeling this soulmate, I don't know why I keep saying I have a feeling. I do have a feeling. Um, but this feels like a karmic soulmate, and this feels like a true love soulmate. And this karmic soulmate, It may have taught you some very valuable lessons, and that's what you want to think about. Like, what did I learn from this? Well, the one thing I learned is I have to be myself within a relationship, or it won't turn out. It won't work out for long. I have to trust my intuition. The psychic detective down here. Like if you picked up on like signals or signs, and by the way, I feel like that's going to go both ways. Like I can pick up that there's something not quite right here, but something quite right over here. And I feel like the message is hang on, baby, hang on. But also the remembrance. You know what I would do here? Instead of reaching out, I can't tell you what to do. Your guides can't tell you what to do. This is just a suggestion. But instead of reaching out to someone who didn't treat you well, and again, ask yourself, am I just feeling lonely? Try to redirect that energy because you just never know what's going to come of that. And I want to remind you, we're moving into a universal year one. Honestly, we have to know what is serving us and what is not, right? Who's keeping us in this sad state? And is that how I want to stay? Because the next 9 years, or let me put it a different way, whatever seeds are planted are and will be your next decade. Do I want to stay in this emotional state of not knowing, sadness, wondering, or have I had enough? I hope you've had enough. I hope you've had enough because that is the key to opening or unlocking this next chapter. And that's exactly what it feels like. You're unlocking a new chapter. And what I would say is just put out to the universe like what type of love you're looking for. And you don't even have to do that in this, whoever this is for, because I feel like your guides are already on top of it. And I love that the ball is put in your court. And it's always put in your court. But to me, that means this cup is coming in. And if you say yes to this cup, and some of the signs that your guides want you to look for is within their nature, like their sensitivity. They're probably very intuitive. And there's probably going to be a really familiar energy about them. I feel like, what's the difference? Well, I feel like with one, I've been crying, I've been sad, I've been hurt. The other is joyful. We're going to be laughing. We're going to be having adventures. We're going to be loving. So, which direction do I want to go? Okay, let's pick that up. All right, we're going to stay with the light seers. Let's go into message number 2. And just calm your energy. I just want to give a break between messages just to allow myself to absorb. All right. I'm already feeling the energy. The Empress, the mother figure. Look at that. The Nine of Pentacles. Wow. You want to talk about successful energy. Wow. Have some of you been putting off something? That's what I kind of feel like. I've been putting off something, and, it could be fear related. Look at this, victory and success. This is a very abundant reading here, or abundant message. It may be coming from someone's mother or a mother figure. And I say mother figure because it can be like a big sister. I know I have a big sister in spirit who is always in our readings. I mean, I have some, everything I have, like this box, is from my ancestors. So I have a lot of love in this room. But then your guides also. So, anyways, I feel like someone may have like an idea, or you may have gotten an epiphany about creating something. The Nine of Pentacles is successful self-employment. Number one, hello. It's also about you reaping the benefits of your hard work. And I don't feel like the issue is I'm afraid to put in the work. I feel like it's more about, will other people recognize what I do? Will I be successful? And the answer, it's already answered through the Six of Wands, victory and success. And by the way, it's like someone's mother is saying, you belong in the spotlight. You belong in the spotlight. That's interesting because I used to say that to my son. Some of you, it could be a son. But I do feel that. I feel like your spiritual team is saying, that the light should always be shining on you. And then I feel like a message also from someone who's asking the question of, you may be deciding, you may be in that age where you're starting to have kids, and, or you already have kids. And because what I'm feeling is someone is questioning, is it okay to put this effort into my creativity as a mother? Am I taking away from my children? And your guides are saying no. What you're doing is you're teaching them. They're seeing you. They're recognizing your hard work, your creativity. And by the way, I have a feeling they also have, it's like someone is very intuitive or psychic. And because I feel like it runs through generations. So you're not the first generation and you're not going to be the last. But I feel like the answer is yes, because what you're showing them is power. Like if let's say you're a single mom, and I do feel some of you are, um, you're showing them, you're teaching them without really even teaching them. You're teaching them how to be strong and independent. For some of you, you're teaching them that you don't have to have a partner to claim success in your life. It doesn't mean that you don't or you won't, but I am picking up on some single mums or dads. All right, let's see what else wants to come out. Ten of Swords. Interesting. I have to say, even though this is a very difficult energy, this can talk about some of you may have been in what I call a karmic loop. And that usually means something keeps repeating. But I feel like someone had the awareness. The reason why I love this image is, I've been there. And I definitely feel like this is someone who used to live on top of this mountain, but the mountain is now dry, barren. There's nothing left. So this person is just taking whatever they have, whatever they can carry, and they're leaving. And they're heading to their next mountaintop. With this mountaintop that you're heading towards, abundance, creativity, it is about you. It is putting that spotlight back on you again, just where it was meant to be. And I wouldn't even look at this as, well, I mean, it is difficult because it is the energy of like dagger after, I'm looking at this path. And I don't know why I never noticed that before. And I feel like it's like she pushed this boulder up a hill, but then it just became too much. She knows this path. Why does she know this path so well? Because of feeling she's been there a few times and keeps getting the same results. I feel like there's a different way. I feel like some of you are going through, let's say like you lost a job. Okay. All right. So really what I feel is what I lost was a partner because I'm doing this alone. And it's not about I feel bad for myself because I'm alone. I don't feel that at all. I really feel like this person or the people here, um, I don't know that I'm thinking of love. I am thinking about how to create a good home, how to do something that brings me joy and satisfaction, but also money. Because you do have to live, right? You got to pay your bills. I also have a feeling that out of the blue, an idea came to you and you followed that. And again, I feel like the potential of business ownership, or if that's what I want to do, this is the time. One step in front of the other. Beautiful. The magician. Literally what we're moving into, the year of the magician. Look at the magician sitting up there. It's like your higher self, and you're feeding what you want to feed. Some of you may be doing this alone, but you're doing one hell of a job. And I feel like that's coming from someone's father or father figure, because I got a different word than that, but you're doing one hell of a job. You could have parents. I might be getting mom and dad. And definitely what I'm hearing is like, we want the spotlight on them. We want the spotlight on my child. Okay. Wow. Hello, Two of Cups. Soulmate. Interesting. Now, it does look kind of romantic. Oh, just as I said that, my phone rang, potential spam. But it does look romantic. Look how their fingers are intertwined. You know what I feel like? I feel like if someone takes a chance, and I feel like some of you already have, like some of you have already moved into this energy, and maybe the spotlight hasn't hit you yet, but it will. And I feel like that's why the magician is here. 2026 feels like your year. Ah, and it's a six right there. I just realized that. So 2026 seems to be your year. Like this is the year where you're creating anniversary dates, whether it's the year I opened my business, it may be a year I fell in love. You know, it's interesting because it was very clear to me that I had single people here, single, and they have children, single mothers, single fathers. But I don't feel like that is going to be the case either. Now, I feel like what your spiritual team or mom and dad are saying is don't put your, like, this is the perfect time for you to do something, even if it does take a lot of work. And for some of you, I feel like you've already laid a lot of the groundwork. It's now just maybe stepping in front of the spotlight. And then the magician. What does the magician want to manifest? Remember, you are the magician. Or let me put that a different way. Because if we think about tarot, and even though with tarot, it's just like a tool for me to connect to above. But when we think about tarot, the magician is the fool's first mentor along the road. And we're always the fool in any new beginning, even a new year, which is right here, right? The year of the magician. So the magician teaches the fool that you already possess all the tools that you need to truly be successful. I feel like here, it's just truly believing in yourself. You know, it may have felt like the timing was never right, but maybe it wasn't right. And maybe this is its timing. Now, the Two of Cups can certainly be someone that you collaborate with. But if that's the case, it is the perfect person. But it may also talk about love. So I do want to look just at the Two of Cups and ask your guides, are we also speaking of love here? And by the way, it's very important what I'm hearing that I don't take my eyes off the ball as it relates to what I want to create, because that feels like something your soul pre-planted. So that is just as important as love. All right. Oh my. Hello, sun. Your illuminator. Brand new day. And we're looking at the soulmates. It's coming in the light. It's coming in the light. Justice. Well, for some of you, it may create balance. And why I'm saying that is I feel like, you know, given the time, and if you're willing, then I feel like That's why I'm saying your guide is saying, don't dismiss this for love. This is also just as important. You, like you creating, you doing something that, again, puts a spotlight on you. It is meant to happen. And how beautiful. Now we have the sun. Well, there is your illumination. And I feel like justice, it can talk about karmic balance. And it can certainly talk about cutting ties, but I would say cutting ties just to anything is just no longer serving you. Justice is about making you whole again. That's why justice comes out. I don't see anywhere where it's talking about like there's someone I need to cut ties with because I already feel you're single. Oh my God. Hello, lovers. Some of you, this could be a twin flame. But listen, the sun, as I say, like soulmate, twin flame, love is love. How I would rather you look at it, or how your guys would rather you look at it, is the levels, right? Like free will, karmic, um, soulmate. And I'm not going to put a twin flame above a soulmate because they are soulmates. But look at that. How interesting. I feel like here, hang on to your hat, baby. Things are about to change. And boy, do you deserve it. Like, I feel like the recognition over you and your plight that you've had, but did deal with. It's almost like, well, here comes the blessings. And if I'm going to fall in love, then I wanted to be someone in the light. And I do feel like that's why the sun came out. It can represent Leo, of course. Leo, we have Leo, Libra, and Gemini, Virgo. Though, in a way, like our spirit guides don't say, like, okay, it's a Virgo. I don't know that they even think that way, but they know we do. So, wow. Like some of you are finding this karmic balance after what feels like, for some of you, it may be like this last cycle has been hard as hell, but you got through it and you're getting through it. And the next chapter, if I allow, again, it's like anniversary dates. I have a feeling this is going to be the theme of this whole reading is like us creating anniversary dates, us looking back in, let's say 2026 being like this was a year my life changed, but for the better. Like even the soulmate with the sun over it's not like you have to search for it. I would say with the magician right before it, if you are, you want to share your life with someone, but someone special, well, the magician would say, put those intentions out there. And remember, the Empress, though I do feel for a lot of you, it's like mom and dad are here, but it also is representing you. And and I feel like if you have overcome quite a bit in your life, give yourself the title of the Empress, male or female. It just means that you don't let the world and the world's problems shut down your heart or your nurturing of others. Because I feel like who I have here, you're so good at that. And that may actually be what you decide to do or you are doing, like to make your money. Um, but don't forget to nurture yourself. And because we open it with the Empress and we have this heavy, heavy responsibility below that, but yet everything seems to be changing. And why? Because you are changing mountaintops. You made that decision. Even if you made it like, how do I say this? Like, it's not really what I wanted. Well, I can tell you down the road again, you know, and you can look at your own life and think back to chapters where like things happen and you thought, well, this is it. I don't want to go on. Let's say it's love. And then out of the blue, you meet someone and you fall back in love again. You know what I mean? Or let's say you lost a job, but you have all of this wisdom. And then you decide to take that wisdom and create for yourself. Well, whoever let you go definitely was their loss, but your gain. So this is saying don't be small. Don't allow yourself to be small this year. Shine, shine. And by you shining, your essence is calling in what is going to be a soulmate love. But I just want to remind you, your guides are saying don't skip one to move into this energy because both are important. And by the way, I have a feeling for some of you, I know this is not going to be for everyone, but for those who have, let's say, a platform, there could be someone who, um, or there will be someone who admires you, like understands, not just admires you, like I have a feeling, they'll probably be attracted to you, but it's more than that. It's much more than that. Because honestly, looks don't have anything to do with this. And I'm not saying that, you won't be attracted to each other. You will, but it's going to be like a chemical reaction. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you guys. And let's do one more from the light seers. All right. I want to calm my energy for a second. This is what I just heard. Calm your energy. Oh, look at that 10 of cups. By the way, I just want to say that someone's favorite song is Imagine by the Beatles. Imagine all the people. And I'm saying that because your guides know that. Imagine by the Beatles. Now, it doesn't mean that it's only their message, but, and it was before I got the cards, and I feel like your guide doesn't want you to know you're here, that they're here. Okay. 10 of Cups. I talk to my guides all the time, and when I felt this overwhelming pull to do this reading, I even said to my guides, but I just did one. Do another one. Do another one. And so I am. Yeah, it's funny. I want to say Ten of Cups, the House of Harmony, the House of Love, but like something's holding me back, even though I just said it. We have the Seven of Pentacles, and then we have the King of Pentacles. He did come in reverse, so I'm going to leave him in reverse for right now. Can be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, but it certainly doesn't have to be. Seven of Pentacles in between that, well, that is your tree of life. And it speaks about patience, but patience over seeds that have been planted. Okay, I thought it wanted to come out. Um, more or less, what it's saying is like, think of your own garden. When you plant a seed, you don't stand over it, and be like, come on, grow already. No, you have patience. You make sure that you're nurturing it, right? By giving it light, water, and then it will grow. And that's what the Seven of Pentacles speaks of. Like trusting that your seeds will come to fruition. Whoa. All right. Interesting how these cards came out because they're all sideways. We have the Nine of Wands, the Ten of Swords again. How could that be? Oh no, the last one is Ten of Wands. I was thinking, did I not put it away? And the Knight of Swords. Okay, well, I know why I didn't want to jump into the Ten of Cups as a happy, loving, happy home. And it may have been it one day. But the King of Pentacles being reversed, I do feel like he's meant to be in reverse. And let me tell you, I don't love the King of Pentacles in reverse because normally this is someone who's very loyal, very stable. Um, Someone who I would say has their, usually has their shit together. I always say this person reminds me of Sam, um, without the beard. Well, he does have a beard, but like a small beard. Oh, okay. Hmm. So I wish I could say that the Ten of Cups is a happy home, but it's not. It doesn't mean it won't be. Well, let me make it clear. With the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, like, not with that person. And I feel like what happened, boy, okay. So this is what I'm picking up. Have someone who comes into your life. I do feel like you were together. And I do feel like you had a relationship. I feel like you fell in love. And I feel like the goal was to spend the rest of our lives together. But then I feel like the real person came out. And the stable energy that you thought they carried, they didn't carry it. The loyalty that you thought that they were giving you, no. They were more concerned about themselves. And it does, and I want to say this in a gingerly way because I know that you can't be feeling so great with this type of energy. But it feels like this king kind of split and kind of left you like holding the bag, so to speak. Maybe left you with bills and, having to clean up their bullshit. And that's what it does feel like. It feels like bullshit. But here's the thing. This message is not about them. It's about you. And it's about how proud your spiritual team is with you reflecting back. But you're no longer, and I have a feeling for a while you were, like reflecting back, maybe putting the blame on yourself where it does not feel like it belongs. Ten of Swords, a repeat pattern. So this person may have come in and out and in and out. But in the Knight of Wands, you're looking at this in a different light. You're looking at how you have grown, how you can, and some of you already have, and some of you will be overcoming this for sure. You know, part of me feels like your spiritual team put a lot of resistance. And maybe the resistance was because I do feel like this person that someone was connected to. And by the way, I'm not in the market of telling people like things that they don't. Well, how do I say this? Like if this person was unloyal, you already know it. That's what I mean. Like you know it, or you've felt it. And I do feel like here you've given someone plenty of chances. And I feel like what your spiritual team is saying, don't take this energy on as your own. Like don't beat yourself up. I have a feeling this person was probably very charming in the beginning. You know, almost very alluring. And they allured you right in. You know, it reminds me of after I got divorced, I went out. I hadn't been out forever because I was living in a place where I didn't know anyone. But then one day, my sister in law, this is after I got divorced, um, she came and picked me up and said, I'm taking you out. And we went out and we went to a nightclub, and there was a man at on the dance floor. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. Like, oh. And I went up and I asked him to dance. Well, he turned out to be the devil. So I literally asked the devil to dance. Now, I can look back now and understand why I was in a very low vibration back then. And it's not that I stayed, I left, but it kept finding me. And I don't know why I'm saying this. Some of you may be dealing with someone like that. And I feel like if that's the case, keep on doing what you need to do to separate yourself. I just knew this Ten of Cups wasn't a happy home. Now, Two of Wands. And so I leave. And, you know, what I love about the Two of Wands is it's very clear this person is looking out the window, asking oneself, what adventure do I want to take next? What lies out there that maybe I haven't even considered yet? You know, she's got a globe, she's got a map. The one thing I always notice, though, is this one wand against the wall. And she's holding the other wand. So this wand, whoever belonged to, not coming along. She's going by herself. Her adventure. Her time. Or his. It's the beginning of something new. But here's the thing. This Nine of Wands, it served you well because I feel like it's done a few things for you. Number one, it's allowing you to clear this old energy. It is giving you the answer that you've been seeking. Is this person the person I'm meant to be with? The answer is no. And again, I do feel like here someone gave someone multiple chances. And each time you gave them a chance, they turn around and feels like they hurt you even worse. Now, this may have happened a little while ago because I feel like the reflection from the Nine of Wands has already taken place. Because I feel like who I'm speaking to is more in the Two of Wands, or that's where you're heading. So, literally asking yourself, what do you want to do next? Where do you want to go? Do you want to leave? Do you want to leave that town? I feel like the possibilities are endless. But here's the thing, you got to believe that. And the Two of Wands is not a fear based energy, it's an energy of adventure. Like, I want to have some adventure in my life. All right, well, let's do a few more. It's funny, on her map is a Volkswagen bus. And when I was growing up, that's what we had, Volkswagen bus. We have the Six of Pentacles. Okay. I feel like the lesson here was the give and take. So this was probably a soul's lesson, especially coming over the Seven of Pentacles. Empathy and compassion. I feel like you carry, but I don't feel like this king does. For himself, he does. I definitely feel the energy of giving, but not receiving, and giving more and not receiving. And you may have questioned yourself, like, why? But don't judge yourself. I mean, that's really what your spiritual team is saying. Don't judge yourself because you've learned from here too. Every lesson, every experience in some way is a lesson or an opportunity to grow. And this is not about changing who you are because it's showing you as compassionate and empathetic and caring for other people. And, sometimes, yes, that can get us in trouble. You know what I mean? We just want to help. And who knows, this king you may have felt broken to you and you wanted to try to help fix him, but you can't fix him. It's almost like he's a narcissist. And, I don't feel like we fix narcissists. They have to fix themselves. Um, and I'm not saying that they can't evolve, because I know I've gotten comments on that before. Everyone can evolve. Everyone has the same opportunities. They may look different, but it's still the opportunity to grow and to learn and to evolve. So things were unbalanced. It's like something that may have started with a shaky foundation right from the get go. There could have been red flags. And listen, we all ignore the red flags, so don't judge yourself on that either. You know, when I asked the devil to dance, oh, there were red flags, but I did it anyway. But now I can look back and understand, everything I was going through, single mom, just went through divorce, you know what I mean? It's like, I get it. We have the moon. Okay. So, can be Pisces. It is the ruler of Cancer, but the moon talks about uncertainties. And that is what I feel like it means. It can mean dreamy energy. And this person may have had dreamy energy in the beginning. But look at this. I feel like this is a perfect image of what you must have felt like. Like I was drowning. I was drowning in sorrow, in uncertainty. This person left the house. I didn't know where they went. I didn't know who they were with. I feel like it got bad. All right. Anything else want to come out with that? I think I get the message. All right. Well, let me ask a question. So, in the Two of Wands, I'm going to bring it down here. In the Two of Wands, what is the potential of what they're going to find out that window? Or when they actually put their feet on the pavement or grass, where do their feet take them? The Three of Wands. Look at that. From the 2 to the 3. Literally, one step, one foot in front of the other. It's a change of energy. This is optimism. You know, it completely is a change of energy. It's literally where you're saying to this king, and I don't mean that you're actually speaking it to the king. I feel like energetically, you're cutting those ties. I feel like the ties have been cut, but now energetically, you're cutting those ties. And by cutting those energetic ties, it's like someone had their hooks in you. You may even want to consider getting Reiki. But I love that you're moving from the Two of Wands to Three of Wands. Number one, to me, that's a sign like I don't have to move quickly. I just need to take a step. Three of Wands is the energy of optimism and the energy of the present moment. And this is where your guides reach you in the present moment. All right. Anything else want to come out? The Eight of Pentacles. Wow. Creative. 8, new beginning. Could be in what you do for a living. Some of you may be making a move. And I get this feeling of like, I'm going back to where it all began, but I'm not sure what that means. I'm going back to where it all began, but I'm not sure what. Eight of Pentacles talks about the willingness to go into something as the apprentice, knowing that if you focus on it, that you will be the master teacher. I feel like the one thing you're mastering is your life. And my God, I hope you're proud. Because I know, like, I have goosebumps everywhere. And when I get goosebumps, that's your spiritual team letting me feel how they feel, like how proud they feel. It's interesting because that feeling of going back to where it all began, and then we get to Eight of Pentacles. So this may be somewhere you went to school, like a hometown, or where you went to college, if you went to college or trade school. Or it could be a place where you learned a lot. I just want to follow that too. Tell me just a little bit more about that. Interesting. I'm noticing the moon phases, like from the new moon up until the full moon. Something with the moon. Ah, and I realized we do have the moon here also. Interesting. Something about the moon. Something about back to where it all began. And there's something about the phases of the moon. We have the devil, heart of Capricorn. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. Interesting. This King of Pentacles could certainly be a Capricorn. Okay. So let me just say, you know, when things are over, we feel like they're over. And I feel like you're getting a message here. For some of you, it is about doing or going to like where it all began, whatever that may mean for you. I don't know why I can't decipher that one, but maybe I'm not meant to. But I do have a feeling that as you start to better your life, well, I feel like you already bettered your life. I just want to say be careful because I could see this king reaching out again. And it's like, here you are, cleared that energy. And it's almost like a test from the universe. But did you really clear it? Did you open up this new door? I feel like you did. But I feel like this is just a small message, though an important message. And let's just put it this way. If this king, whether it be a female or male, who definitely feels like they were unloyal, definitely feels like they were unstable, and I could keep going on, but I feel like you understand. I would not be surprised if they catch wind of you maybe moving. And this is exactly what a narcissistic type energy does. Like they don't want you, like they can't supply the 10 of cups for you, but they'll be damned if they want anybody else to. And it's interesting because I feel like this person has been, the two of you have been like separated. And I feel like your guides are just saying, just keep your eyes open. And this is not meant to be scary. It's not scary. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't get pulled back into their alluring type energy. Because I feel like the same thing will happen again. And I really have no doubt about that. Do you trust you? Be willing to take a step for a new beginning. This is not about changing who you are. Actually, this is really about the growth that you've had and how much stronger you are now. So I feel like if this king tried to make, and I know this is not going to be for everyone, because some may say yes, but I feel like for the majority, it would be a clear no. And why? Because you have changed. Because you now know who you are. Because you now see them for who they are. and enough is enough. I feel like you tried, you tried, you tried. And I don't feel like you were ever going to win. But I don't feel like anybody wins with this person. And this person may claim victory themselves, but let me tell you what they're doing. They're creating a lot of karma for themselves. But that's between them and their spiritual team. Because your spiritual team wants you to focus forward, wants you to get excited about the potential of your future, wants you just to take a step onto this new path. And think about, like the Eight of Pentacles, it answers questions too. Like, how do I know I'll be successful at whatever it is that you want? It says, as long as you're willing to put the focus in. But she's not looking over this direction. She's looking over here at this new beginning. She's not looking at the past. So some of you are going back to where it began. Now, I don't feel it's anything to do with someone, let's just say this king who I'm just going to say has been unloyal. I don't feel like it has anything to do with that. It is like a new beginning, but it almost feels like in a familiar place. And I feel like your guides, some of you may have been looking for confirmation. Like, should I do this? If you feel called and it's clear to you that it's a soul's calling, then I would do it. And that's what the Two of Wands is all about, adventure. And it's not even fast moving. But what does it do? It takes you from feeling like you're drowning to, I cannot wait to see what lies ahead for me. Night and day, light and dark. But you're following the light. They're following the dark. Their choice, your choice. Okay. Wow. That was a deep message. All right, let's switch up decks. And again, I will have them time stamped, but at the same time, don't be afraid to listen to all the messages because, a whole message doesn't have to resonate, but there may be bits and pieces. Your guides, they're beautiful. But that's not what I was going to say. But they are beautiful. Um, and yes, what you're imagining in your mind, I feel like for a few of you, like you're picturing them in your mind. Yes, you're right. You're right. I forget what I was even going to say now. All right. Just let me relax my energy for a second. I love doing these readings, but it does take a lot of energy out of me. I'm not going to lie. I can hear Sam out there fighting with someone on the phone. All right. The Knight of Swords, the Moon, the Fool, The Six of Swords. Look at that. The Six of Wands again. Wow. Wow, wow. Hello, Ace of Cups under the Fool. Four of Cups. And the Devil again. Card of Capricorn again. But I want you to look at this. And I know some of you don't watch, you listen. Like you listen through the podcast. So let me explain to you what I'm seeing. So we have two lovers here. But we have these lovers being influenced by shadow. And this influence can cause, well, a lot of problems. This influence can make us feel stuck when we're not really stuck. It's illusionary energy. And it's the type of energy that makes you feel sometimes like you can't move. But you can. But I get it. Now, right before that is the Four of Cups. This is a great image of the Four of Cups. Because the Four of Cups talks about discontentment or boredom within your emotional life. Literally, here comes a cup from the hand of divine. I'm not kidding. And here's that cup. Here it is. And it's under the fold. New, fresh, exciting. Right? This is about taking a leap of faith. Boy, do I feel like someone, in the Four of Cups, you can definitely look at this person and see that they feel sad. Right? This is discontentment and boredom. And I don't even know that boredom is the right word, but it is how they describe the card. Definitely, I'm not satisfied. I don't feel loved. Maybe I stopped believing in love. But this cup comes in anyway. And what I really believe the meaning of this card is about learning to use your spiritual discernment. These cups that were before it, don't regret them. Because each one is what's made you who you are today. Your spirit guides want you to be proud of who you are today, even if there's issues, because that is life. This influence, it almost feels like it's trying to influence two people from not being together. And I feel like it's going to take two strong souls here to know that they do belong together. Now, that doesn't mean that if we're not together, that my life is worthless. Quite the opposite. There is more to life than romantic love. Love is the answer to all of our questions. But the right love. The Fool means the clearing of the past. And I love the Fool is heading towards the moon because here I do feel it's dreaming. And the Six of Swords here means no wonder we have the Fool. It means that somewhere along the way, you've been dealing with some type of toxic energy. And sometimes it can land in our thought system. You know, that energy, because if there was toxicity, and usually, or maybe it's just when I'm feeling, it feels like communication, like bad communication. But this is you realizing in the Six of Swords what and who has been toxic in your life. And how do I love this Six of Swords is mirroring this Ace of Cups. Because this is telling us this has nothing to do about toxicity. Quite the opposite. This illusionary energy, the fool will see through it. Fool will see through it. And you in this state of victory and success. You know what this feels like? This feels like the type of love where, and this is love, but this is a type of love where, I don't know, like, again, I feel like, have you even experienced this type of love yet? You know, it's interesting because it's reminding me when Sam and I did our podcast, something I said that I really didn't even maybe realize myself until I said it was that I have loved in my life, but I don't think I've ever felt the fulfillment in love that I do with Sam. And don't think that it's too late because I feel like someone is saying that, like, oh, it's too late. Oh, it's not too late. It doesn't matter your age. I mean, I was in my 50s. It doesn't matter your age. It matters how you think and the actions that you're willing to take. The Fool, remember, is not about bringing issues of the past along for this new journey. It is a zero, right? Free and clear. And that's how this love wants to be. This almost feels like a past life love, like you have loved before. And I have a feeling in a past life, there was an issue. Man, everything keeps making me want to do a past life reading. But I'm in the middle of a series where I'm doing your personal year numbers. But look how this reading got through. So who knows? I may do a past life reading after this because I feel that here. And I just get this sense that you don't know it yet. You don't know it yet, but your soul does. Your soul knows it. 66 may ring a bell for some of you. You may have one of your spiritual team members may have been born in 66. I definitely feel like as your spiritual team, you know, the thing I want to remind you, which is how I should have started the reading, is before we came into this lifetime, we already had a whole spiritual team assigned to just us, just you. And that is a mixture of your spiritual team, people you have lived life with in this lifetime, but also ancestors who in this lifetime you may not know, but you do know them. archangels. Like I feel Archangel Michael's presence here more like as protection. And I feel like the protection is against the dark. It's funny because I feel like Archangel Michael is saying, I am always protecting you. And I know that's the case, and I hate to talk about myself in this type of a reading, but when I used to, a job I had, and it took me, like 45 minutes to drive there every day. I used to always, when I get in my car, because I was alone, I would say to Archangel Michael, please sit in the passenger side seat and protect me to and fro. And I always did that. And I still do that. And I feel Archangel Michael's protection here. And I feel like what Archangel Michael is saying is, I am protecting you from the dark. You keep seeking the light. Keep moving towards the light, what feels like the light in your life, the light within you. And know that things will work out in your life. The need to be the full. That's important. Anything new you begin as the full. That means you've extracted the wisdom of the last experience you've had, but each thing that you've gone through is like a badge of courage. The spirit warrior. Like there's many names I give you. And that is from Archangel Michael. Okay. We have the King of Wands. I'm going to put him over here. And look at this, the sun again. And I'm putting it over here. So interesting. Well, both of them are fire signs. And I don't know why, but I'm picking that up as light. Now, let me tell you here. This is what I feel like your spiritual team is saying as it relates to love, because this is a love reading. I mean, this is a life reading, but it is ultimately about love. And it is the clearing of the past. That is a necessity. But the Fool is heading towards his Ace of Cups in the sun's energy. That means it'll be clear. That means you're going to feel it and you'll trust it. I feel like there were two lovers that feels like they were held apart by the dark. And it feels like Archangel Michael is saying, we have taken away that power. We have taken away their power. And this love that was meant to form now has that opportunity. And I feel like the King of Wands is a representation of the type of energy you're going to be meeting. So let me talk a little bit about this king. Number one, I love that he's mirroring the sun, because that's the first thing I felt, that this love, this Ace of Cups, is coming in the light. This is someone who is not afraid to show you how they feel. They're in the upright. And it doesn't even matter because this is your guide speaking. This is someone who I feel is going to be very passionate about you and you for them. And what I really love about this is this love feels unencumbered. And why is that? Because there has been some real realizations here. And you are no longer getting in your way, nor is anybody else, or at least you're not allowing them. You're heading into this dreamy type energy, but it is like a blessing because I feel like someone learned a lesson. So it's like the blessing after the lesson. So it must have been one hell of a lesson because what a blessing. This is true. It's unencumbered. To me, that means both people are free, free to love, and both people are going to want to love. I don't feel like the fool is out seeking love. The fool was just out for adventure. And how interesting, the 0 and then the 1. Well, that seems to be the next step. The fool doesn't even know that this dreamy energy is about to hit them, but it's going to. And I feel like we can come right back to the 4 cups to understand that. Number 1, this cup that's coming from Divine's hand, we have it. Number 2, this discontentment or even boredom that you may have felt within your emotional world, that's changing. But you're allowing it. Because remember, this person has to look up. They have to see that cup. Here's the thing though. As soon as I said that, your spiritual team said, oh, they're going to feel it. They're going to feel it. And because you understand what toxic energy means, and again, it doesn't always have to mean like people. It could just mean situational, right? But it's not meshing with me. It's not meshing with my goals. It's not how I expected love to be. So this past life love that for whatever reason couldn't be together, I have a feeling they fell in love in a past life. And it does feel like the last past life. I do feel like they fell in love. But I feel like there was an issue that kept them apart. So they met, they fell in love, and it was probably love at first sight. Because this is a love that's following you and you, them, into this lifetime. So it is like another opportunity. But how beautiful that the sun is representing this Ace of Cups. So it's going to be clear in this lifetime. And that could have been part of the issue in a past life. So this is past life love that is being reborn. And it's being reborn in its divine time. As humans, we don't quite know that. As souls, we do. But listen, in a way, your guides will say you're not meant to know, because you're co-creating with us, right? It's the steps that you take that we then get behind and help to show you like the best path possible. Okay, I'm gonna let that be. Wow, past life lovers. And I'm not surprised because um my guides know what type of readings we do here. And they know that doing a past life reading is one of my favorite readings to do. Okay, let me take a second. Grab a drink. Okay. I forgot. I don't even know how many messages we've done so far. I was going to say message number, but I don't know how many we've done. All right. Universal Trail. We've already used it. Two Pentacles. Someone's got a question up in the air. Someone probably came here, or this reading found you because there is a question. Hello, Four of Wands. There's that marriage card. Someone may have proposed or is proposing, like a connection. Doesn't have to be marriage. Could be, let's move in together. Could be marriage, though. But I feel like it's you questioning, should I, shouldn't I? It's interesting that you're questioning it. Look at this. The Ten of Pentacles. The Three of Wands. I would say yes. I would say yes. I feel like the question may be, because I feel like someone's is either going to ask you to marry them or ask you to move in with them. And I feel like I do feel like there's a lot of stability here. Like I feel like this is something that's built on a strong foundation. Even if we, haven't even known each other that long. Interesting. It may be something that's moving quickly. But, sometimes when you know, you know. I almost feel like the Three of Wands is the accepting the proposal. Look at that. Not only do you have the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Cups under the Four of Wands, under the marriage card. Wow. House of Abundance, House of Love. All right, that was too many. Look what just flipped itself around. The Three of Swords. And how interesting that the Three of Swords is mirroring another three. This is the energy of optimism. This is the energy of brokenhearted. Daggers in my sword, or in my heart. But that energy, that was yesterday's news. I feel like if I have any hesitation here, it could be, I don't want my heart broken. I feel like your guides are saying, don't even think that way. Don't even think that way. There's no need here. Three of Wands is the way to think. Optimism. Holy abundance. Two and the three together, a five, a change. So I know something is being questioned, is being posed to you. Like, I literally feel like someone's going to propose. And I feel like your guides are so behind this energy. I feel like here we have very stable, and I say stable energy, and that may sound boring to some. But let me tell you, with this stability, also comes playfulness, laughter, joy, love. It doesn't mean there will never be any issues, but this is the type of love that can work through it, that will work through it. Because I feel like if you say yes, what a life. Potential is just unlimited. It's so beautiful. And the Three of Swords means that you have loved before, that it didn't always go well. But don't allow that to play a part. Because this doesn't feel like someone who's broken your heart. Three of Swords is what was. That's why it's in reverse. And the Three of Wands is what is the energy is calling for now. Because remember, the Three of Wands is present moment energy, optimism. You know, it's almost like saying, or your guides are saying, if you expect good things to happen, and then be willing to put the energy behind that, then good things will happen. If you expect bad things to happen, and put the energy behind that, bad things happen. That is the energy of co-creating. That is the power of your intentions. And I don't even want to go any more negative because this is very, very positive. And I feel like this is simply someone is being asked for devotion. May I have your hand for the rest of my life, the rest of our lives. You know, the Two of Pentacles to me, it's like using the logical mind. It's not fear-based. Will this benefit me? And maybe you have children. Is this something that you know, and this would be questions you're asking yourself. So I want to look at that. And there's nothing wrong with thinking it over. You know what I mean? Like, think it over. I don't feel like your guides are like, don't take the time to think it over. No. If you need to think it over, think it over. But I feel like what they're saying is this is not yesterday's news. Page of Wands. Okay. So, right off the bat, I feel like what this is saying is for some of you, you've taken chances in your life. And of course, they didn't all pay off. But probably each and every one of them had taught you something. You know, the Page of Wands is very much like my Fool. And this is my risk taker. I call this page my risk taker. So I feel like it's saying, take a chance. Take a chance. But of course, that is up to you. You know, the Page of Wands is, to me, also a reminder that, of course, not everything is going to work out in our favor. But that doesn't mean we should give up, right? Maybe give up on that, but don't give up on life. Don't give up on the potential. This page knows, right, that I have tried, I have fallen, but I get back up again. I get back up again. This page doesn't let yesterday's news get in the way of its next adventure. No. And I feel like that is the message. You know, what I would say is if you truly feel that the two of you can create this Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups together, which I know you can, Well, it has to be left up to you. But the Page of Wands is kind of telling me, like, again, my risk taker. I feel like the Ten of Pentacles, it just will be because I feel like it's the combination of like two incomes coming together. Then I feel like the creativity and ideas and energy and the money and everything just flows. There's no blocks. Everything just flows. And the Ten of Cups, love and harmony and laughter. Well, it's sitting right next to an optimistic energy with a hurtful energy in reverse. So this is not part, the Three of Swords is not part of this. This is yesterday's news. I feel like I want to put a card right down. Look at that, the Page of Swords. Could be 2 pages reconnecting. But I feel like that's the message. Short but sweet. Do I or don't I? Will you or won't you? Will you be mine for the rest of our lives? Okay, gotta pick that up. And let's do one more with the Universal Tarot. And then let's do one or two with the Romance Angels. All right, we have the Three of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, which add up to an 8, by the way. Seven of Pentacles. I feel like something happened to you outside of your control, and you may have felt like it was the worst thing ever. Well, I shouldn't say that. Um, because I don't feel like it was the worst thing ever. I mean, it could have felt that for a moment, but I do feel like something happened, like you may have lost a job. And it feels like something that you didn't expect, but it happened anyway. Um, but can I tell you, I feel spiritual's influence here. Like even though something ended, it is because a new beginning is ready to start, and that's why I'm seeing that 8. And then the Seven of Pentacles, your tree of life. To me, that tells me that there are certain seeds that are coming to fruition, and what was maybe won't fit in what will be. So let's see. And remember, when you see a 5, it speaks of change. We have the Queen of Cups just flipped herself around. Can be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Look at that. The Ten of Swords. Okay. Under that Five of Pentacles. So, in a way, it's like something happened outside of your control, but in the same breath, look at the Ten of Swords underneath it. Could be something that's happened over and over again. And this kind of feels like a karmic loop also. December is a very karmic month. I just realized that. And some of you, this month is about clearing that karma for good so that you can go into 2026 with a clean slate, just as we're meant to. Queen of Cups in reverse. I feel this is more you. We have the Nine of Swords, worry. But then look at this. We have the Wheel. And you know what's interesting? The Wheel is very much like the Seven of Pentacles. But the Seven of Pentacles are your soul seeds of intention. Some of those seeds you're planting right now. Some of those seeds have already been planted. Some are coming to fruition. You know, it's interesting in the Nine of Swords. I feel like you remember how I said in the beginning, Seven of Pentacles is like your garden. You plant a seed, you're not going to stand over it, be like, come on, blossom already. When the Nine of Swords, that's kind of what you're doing. But I feel like whatever happened here feels like, and I know this is going to be hard to hear, but it feels like it was meant to happen. You know, when I see the Seven of Pentacles, I always feel like something is coming to fruition. And it may have taken time, but then again, it may have taken a situation to end for a new one to begin. You know, it's almost like two energies that can't live in the same house together. The Hermit. I just wanted to see what mirrored the Wheel, and we get the Hermit. Interesting. And we're in the year of the Hermit. And this year is coming to an end very soon. And the Wheel knows that. You know that. And your soul knows that. I feel like I definitely feel the energy of going through the dark night of the soul, going through something very hard. And it could have brought you down to your knees. Um, but I have to say though, like I feel this energy of like being brought down to my knees. But in that energy, almost like when I feel completely lost, I start to feel the light. I start to feel this tiny light. And the more I focus on that little light, it starts to grow bigger and bigger. And it becomes my spiritual illumination. And what it's illuminating is this worry. But let's remember the Nine of Swords talks about unnecessary worry. And that means that you're worrying about things that you cannot control. So don't try to control them. The Hermit is a wise old soul. But it takes us time, and we're all the Hermit. It takes us time to realize that we have that wisdom. We have the wisdom of lifetimes. We have the wisdom of our ancestors. We have the wisdom of our spiritual team. We have so much wisdom. I feel like some of you lost a job. But as I say that, I also feel your creative energy, and I feel it's very strong. Like I do feel you are wise. Um and I hope you know that because this feels like the energy where eventually I take the lemons and I make lemonade. And what I'm really trying to say is you take your wisdom and you create from that. This wheel speaks of your destiny, and it's touching the Three of Pentacles. And Three of Pentacles is all about your creativity and your authentic self, both being important. But being important, it's important to live in it, right? Live in your authentic skin. And just know that these tower type energies are going to happen. And if you pull back on your spiritual wisdom, you don't allow, the shit that happens anyway, you start to have the ability to move through this bullshit kind of stuff in a much easier way. It's almost like the lantern of the hermit. You will always have in front of you and will always illuminate your steps. And that is something that has been gained through all these experiences. I want to go right in the middle with the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is about your foundation. Kind of be talking about your money. Here's the thing. I feel like if this is talking about a job that I might have lost, it's not talking about you not having the ability to be great at what you do. It's probably the opposite. It's almost like the universe is saying, you're almost too good for that job. And you have the ability to take all that effort you're giving to another and put it within your own. So some of you may be starting a business. And I know I say that a lot, but I just feel like that must be the people that come here. Like a lot of business owners. Or maybe that's what you want. And I feel like what this is saying is you have to learn to trust in that. Even if you don't know everything. Again, it's just taking that first step. Whatever happened in that Five of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, which means something outside of your control, and you probably didn't expect, it's also showing the anxiety that was. What feels to be unfair also seems like that's what was. And I feel like what your guides are just saying is they want you to trust in your own abilities. Something's making me want to take a card. Two Swords. Okay, that makes sense. Up against the Knight of Cups. Well, so the Knight of Cups is an unexpected cup of fulfillment. And it doesn't have to be love. It could just be the right job at the right time. It could be the right situation at the right time. This night is meant to bring you in a cup of fulfillment. But it is being met by the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords, to me, just means there may be something that I need to face that maybe I haven't, but it would definitely serve me. Some people feel like it can block an opportunity, and that could be the case, but I still feel like the opportunity shows. I want to go right in between the two of them. Look at that, the Four of Swords, healing. I kind of feel like this night is helping you to heal. And I see Mother Mary in the window. So Mother Mary's energy over this healing energy. 2 4s, by the way. Now, it probably means that something, again, wasn't built on a strong foundation. And then here's the opportunity. Really, of anything I build next. I love that this Knight of Cups is also connected to the wheel. destiny. You know, is it love? Well, the Knight of Cups doesn't have to be love. And right now, I feel we're talking, you know what I feel like? I feel like someone has shut down the avenue of love because they're dealing with finances right now. They're dealing with real life finances, right? I gotta pay bills. What do I do? And I feel like your guides are gonna help you. Like the right opportunity is gonna find you. And this is an energy again where I feel like you won't look back. And if you do look back, you're looking back with a sense of gratitude. Like if that didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened. All right, so I am going to ask a question. I just want to know if this Knight of Cups has also. Okay, I want to make this clear before I turn this card over. Because my question, even though I didn't get it completely out, my guides know. My question was going to be, I already know this cup is meant to give you fulfillment, but I feel like it's more like in life, money, stability, that type of energy. But then my question was going to be, is it also including love? Let's see what we get. Hello, Ace of Pentacles. Wow. So the Ace of Pentacles, that means something is coming into your physical world. You know, the Ace of Pentacles to me is the way. The Star. Interesting, it was shut down. Turner. Maybe it was shut down. Maybe your dreams have been on the back burner for a while. And maybe it's time to bring him back to the front. You know, I feel like what this is saying with the star, because it is about your hopes, your dreams, and your wishes. And I feel like what this is saying is you haven't quite been living your dream life. But what if I tell you that this may be the potential of actually living your dream life? You need to trust in those dreams again. Trust in it all is possible. I swear, the Ace of Pentacles to me, it's like it gives you the way. It is like the way out. Ace of Pentacles has roots, which means that it can truly take root. And what I mean by that, think of your garden again, right? It's like, it's not an annual, it's a perennial. It comes up year after year after year. And that I can just trust in. Where at an annual, I have to plant it every year. Interesting. I don't know why I'm going that way. Okay, so I just feel like what this is saying is it's going to depend on what their dreams are. But this is about bringing it to fruition. I mean, hello, Will. Hello, Destiny. And the Hermit. We're in the year of the Hermit. It's coming to an end very soon. And we are jumping into the energy of the Magician. It's so powerful that I've done so many readings and podcasts over it. And even the Ace of Pentacles. Look at that. One. Representing 2026. 2026 is a year one. Think about that. Year one. How do I want the next cycle to look, to be, to feel? Because I feel like the star, unfortunately, it's in reverse. But, you know, honestly, I feel like it has a little to do with the two. So I feel like, okay, I got to calm my energy down. I just need to believe. But not only believe, be willing to put the energy behind it. And sometimes that may just be the intention. But have the intention that All is possible. All is possible. And I feel like that's the way your guides want to answer this reading. Is it love? Well, for some, but I feel like it has to do with your dreams and your wishes and the ability to manifest them because it is part of your destiny. Your hermit self knows that. And now your human self is catching up. Okay, I'm going to let that be. And I think what I'm going to do is, which I don't know if I've ever done, but I felt called to it, is I'm actually going to do a reading with just the romance angels. And what I mean by that is, not that we won't come back and clarify if needed, but we're going to let them be the main spread, so to speak. So we know it's going to talk about love, but I feel like this is the way I was meant to end this. So, okay. I'm like, I don't know why, but I feel scared, nervous, but excited at the same time. Like I feel like a little kid before Christmas. Forgiving and learning. Oh my gosh, so important this year. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Forgiving, but look what it says with it, and learning. I never feel like this is saying that you have to pick up the phone and call someone and be like, you know what, I forgive you. This is energetically. This is saying I'm not willing to carry this energy along any longer. I want my energy to be free and clear. I don't want the weight of this to be part of my present nor future. It is an important part of being in this life. It may be one of the hardest things to do. But you know, I've learned just through my practice that I had to forgive. And boy, it wasn't easy, but I did. You know, forgiving doesn't mean that it will never come or you'll never think about it again. But if you do think about it, you won't feel it. You won't feel that energy. So it may come up, just like how I talk about it, but it doesn't make me feel the way I felt back then anymore. Okay. And there's probably a reason why that's important. Well, I mean, it's always important. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Now, that could be physical addictions, but could also be addicted to someone. Flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. Okay. Before I go on, I want to make it clear what I'm feeling. So I feel like for some, there seems to be like, well, codependency on another. So in a way, I've given them permission to determine what my life is going to be like. And I feel like what this is saying is you need to take that power back. You need to take that power back. Because I feel like whatever ended, in a way, it kind of feels like it had to end. And I mean for you. Because I feel like if it didn't end, you would stay in this energy. For some of you, you may still be in it. Okay. Some of you may still be in it. So then I would ask you to ask yourself, are you with someone just because the thought of being alone is too scary? Or the thought of, I don't know what exists out there? So are you becoming comfortable in the uncomfortableness? Do you feel like you need to drink or take a pill or something like that to help you overcome like the energy you're feeling? Like maybe I drink a glass of wine just to help me calm down, but then that glass of wine turns into two and turns into three. And the truth is it's because, I can't change a situation or a person, but I can change myself. And I feel like that takes some reflection. And that may be what some of you're going for right now, or what you're in right now is like deep reflection. I feel like you're taking this universal um numerology seriously, and that's a good thing. Because on the other side of you is much more, what do I want to say, like free loving and easygoing type energy. Here, no, the opposite. Sometimes we give people a title, and this is why I'm very careful when I talk about love. I'll say soulmates, twin flames, karmics, but then I always go back and remind you it's just different levels. And I feel the more that we look at it that way, even though I do have to put a title on it, for a video, but when we look at it that way, the different levels of love, and each level is teaching me something. This could be the one. You already met the romantic partner you seek. Interesting. Oh my. Past lives. You have known each other before. And then express your love. Go ahead and make that romantic gesture. Under flirt. Okay. I feel like this is saying that there's some of you who I don't feel like you're happy as it relates to your love life. I do feel like someone, or maybe a few people, did quite a number on you. Yet I do feel this sense of becoming too comfortable in the uncomfortableness. Because I feel like when your energy changes, so does everything around you. And some of you, I think the best course of action here, again, is to, like, because this is love, is to look at the different people you've loved and ask yourself, well, what did I learn from that love? I feel like we're either the teacher or the student or both. What did that love teach me? And sometimes it's simply what you do not want. I have to tell you, this reminds me of Sam and I's story. So I get what this is saying because it is the clearing. What you're doing with this forgiving and knowing, or, again, questioning yourself, does my focus stay here because I'm just afraid of the uncertainty? What if there is a past life lover and this is its time? What if that is really what wants to happen? And I feel like because we did not use the cosmic tarot, or I'm sorry, the cosmic tarot, I do have cosmic tarot that I haven't used in a long time. This is the crystal vision. I'm going to let it go deeper in this reading. And I'm just leaving it open to our guides. And what I mean by that is I don't have like real questions. I just want them to go deeper for us. Interesting. So we get the devil. Oh, man. I always feel bad for Capricorn that that's their card. Because most Capricorns are nothing like that. But the devil really speaks about temptations, the things you were drawn to in the dark, things that drew you in without clarity. It reminds me of like that one reading with the King of Pentacles in reverse, right? The promise of the world, but then shows you none. Very tempting energy, but also illusionary energy. So I'll tell you what you need to hear. Tell me what I want to hear. No, that's not how it goes. Tell me what. All of a sudden, I'm thinking of a Spice Girls song. I'll tell you what you want to hear, what you really, really want to hear. I know that's not the right words. And by the way, when a song comes to my mind, the reason why I tell you about it is because I know that songs and spirit also tie together. Okay. But simply, I feel like what this is saying is an energy you dealt with. Um, they just weren't the one. They just weren't the one. We have 10 of Wands. Okay. So I can tell you this. Whether this be an existing relationship or an old relationship, this tells me that you have tried. That you've tried. You've pushed that boulder up a hill. But then it just keeps rolling back down. And nobody else wants to help you push that boulder. Well, that's not your boulder to push. We have the Queen of Wands, but in reverse. So, this queen, normally very passionate, right? She knows what she wants and she goes after it, but she's in reverse. So, again, someone else's energy blocking what feels like is truly meant to be yours. Someone shut down that beautiful spirit of yours, that spirit of fun, I feel like, well, let's talk about down here because this is what I feel like this person would say. They're beautiful. They make my heart sing. They bring joy to me. I love being with them. They are my best friend. They are my everything. And I wondered how long it would take until they realized that they deserved more. This person isn't judging you. They're looking at you from the light and they're seeing your light and they're wondering why you don't see it. Interesting. They're wondering why you can't see that light. They may not know about this, what you've been through yet. We have the Three of Cups. Interesting. Joy. That's what you bring. That's how they feel. But it's also a reason to celebrate. Then we get the Ten of Swords under the Ten of Wands. Man, I get this feeling that some of you, it's like the good guy and the bad guy have followed you. Okay, I get it. Because I have to put an end to it. That's why it keeps following me. I have to put an end to it. I gotta say no more. I gotta reclaim myself, my power, and my light. I cannot allow myself to become codependent on those who have nothing to give. And this is why it's following you. So, this beautiful love, which we know is a soulmate, is also from a past life. And this other person, I feel like, is a karmic that had a lesson. And, sometimes the lesson is so simple. Though, as I say that, I know doesn't feel it. And I feel like the lesson was for you. This reminds me again, I want to do past life reading. But this reminds me of one of them. This reminds me of the one where there was a man and woman, and the woman was married to a man, and this man, excuse my language, was a real prick. And this woman, who was a mystic, a scribe, shaman, a healer, this is what she did. And I feel like, in the reading, she ended up meeting this, her true love. And I don't want to give, for some reason, I don't want to give the ending away. But let's just say this fits. Oh my God. Hello, lovers. Hello, lovers, my old friend. It's good to be with you again. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. But Seven of Pentacles is mirroring the devil. Remember what I said when we saw the devil earlier, where you literally saw the lovers? And here we have the lovers. But these lovers are being influenced by angels, by the light. And in the devil's card, we saw the lovers being influenced by the shadow, by the dark. But that was an illusion that they had to break. You know, we do have power over the shadow. We have to remember that. So, the people here, you have two people. One is an opportunity to clear this karma and clear it for eternity. And this is the lifetime. Like, this is a true opportunity. And I know it's a hard one, but the payoff is beyond measure. And then when you love, because you will fall back in love. And some of you, well, I know you already know who they are, but it makes me feel like for some of you, you have even met in this lifetime. You know, again, it reminds me of Sam and I, because we met when we were teenagers, broke up, and then 40 years later, we're now in union. We now live together. The lovers are back together. It's energetic. It's energetic here. It's real, but it's energetic. And because it's energetic, you can control that. You can control that. Okay. Going to pick this up and I'm going to do one more. And we'll stay with the romance angels. Why not? I don't need to cut them. Feels like that goes with the last one. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. You deserve love. You are lovable. So pay attention to the red flags. Funny, I was going to say new flags. They're talking about this new love? I don't think so. I don't feel that at all. Because I feel like this new love is like across the pond. And I don't even know what I mean by that. Chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Keep that line of communication open. And then let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. So, These red flags, I don't feel like it has anything to do with this new love. Um, Matter of fact, let's look right at the red flags because I want to get into this new love. To tell me about the red flags. The Five of Wands. Okay. So, change. So we know this is not meant to stay. Chances are it's not, um, like I'm not really feeling it like it's in my life right this moment. But if it is, then what you can ask yourself, is there a lot of fighting? Is there a lot of drama? Is there a lot of ego? Because I don't feel like this is saying, this is the energy you stay. I feel like what this is saying is there was a previous love where there were red flags. And again, don't judge yourself over that because we all get them. And our guides know chances are we're going to say no to the red flag. We're not going to accept them. But then they'll throw another one. But then if we're not willing to listen, then they'll be patient, right? But when things come to a head, and they do, they're right there beside you. All right. Interesting. I was just going to take one on each side, but something made me shuffle. So, yeah, it's funny when I do a reading, many times I don't know what my hands are doing. The Queen of Cups, she's in the upright this time. And now I want to do one on the other side, the Four of Cups. Okay, well, we know what that Four of Cups is. We've seen it many times. And a cup is coming in. And we know this cup is new love. And we know you deserve this love. And I feel like this is a pretty simple message, though very important at the same time. If you have fear, let the conversations lead the way. This is exactly why Let Go of Control just came out. Because you don't want to try to control this. This just will flow. It just will flow. And the energy is one of the ways you're going to know. And let's say you want to have conversations, but somebody else doesn't. Well, take that as a red flag. Now, I don't feel that, but if that were to happen, because I feel here, this is more about open communication. You know what I feel? I feel like there, in time, I do feel like you're going to open up about your past. They're going to open up about their past. And you're going to find that you have a lot of similar experiences. And I mean, the chemistry alone is what is the connection. But because the Four of Cups is also here, we know that this love, this new love, is coming from the hand of divine. And we know why. Because you are lovable. Let's just say this. Past relationships that didn't work out. And yes, there were probably red flags. But you guys, they do not want you to beat yourself up over any of this. It's just, they want you to have the perspective of, what am I learning? How have I grown? And be proud of how you've grown. Like you are a soul in a soul classroom. And it feels like you're turning into the A student. And it didn't come overnight. You had to go through kindergarten the whole way up. But here you are ready to graduate. Queen of Cups in the upright. I can tell you one thing about the Queen of Cups. She loves having someone special by her side. And not just anyone. Like when she loves, she wants that love to also be her best friend. Doesn't mean she doesn't have best friends. Her love is number one. And it goes both ways. You know, be open to all the possibilities of the year of the magician. Go into it as clear as you can. You know, our guides know that we're imperfect. It's the way we were born. And I don't know, I guess I'm like pausing because like every part of me wants you to move forward into this new love. Every part of me. But I know there's going to be a little hesitation. Why am I feeling that? The Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Well, it's interesting because let go of control issues, allowing this situation to unfold naturally. But the Queen of Pentacles sometimes won't do that. I want to know everything and I want to know now. Oh, you're freaking me out. You're freaking me out. This Queen, the overthinker. That's why it's asking you to let go of control issues. This is energy. Feel the energy. Get out of that mind and get into that heart. And the rest will take care of itself. And I'm going to let it be. I want to thank your guides and my guides for the clearest messages I feel. I felt every single message. And I need to do more of these. I know it. Because your loved ones are just like waiting for me to do these. And literally, I woke up this morning like, you have to do messages from above. And I'm thinking, no, I have to do personal year 6. And I am still going to do personal year 6. But this reading wanted to be, and now I completely understand. So I'm going to let it be. I love you. Your guides love you. Your loved ones love you. Your ancestors, the family that you've lived life with, those who have gone before you. You will see them again. You will all be together again. We will be together again. You know, I often picture us, like when we all leave this world, that we're going to get together and we're going to talk about these talks that we've had. And I feel like it's going to be so much fun. I know you're my soul family. And some of you know that also. Some of you don't know yet. That's okay. I love you anyway. But I thank our spiritual team, truly. And I'm glad that they pushed this reading. You know, I say pushed. But they let me know that it was important that I do this reading, and I'm glad I did. I love you guys. I thank you. I will see you next time. Bye bye.